Hi, welcome to episode number 2. In this episode, we want to work with Home tab. For using the word Home tab, I read a sentence. This is a test for Microsoft Word class. I want to change the formatting of this sentence. So, what should I do at first? I have to select this sentence. How? Just click and drag. Okay, you can select it. After that, I can change the font of this sentence. In this part, you can see the font. Just click and go to your desired font. For example, maybe this one. Hmm? Okay, as you see, the style of the font has been changed. Now you can choose the font size. For example, number 24. Hmm. If you don't want to select the font size from this list, you can just click on these buttons, increasing the font size and decreasing the font size. If I increase the font size, you can see that it is increasing the font size based on the list that we mentioned before. For example, I click on it and it changes to number 26. Hmm? I click on this button and it changes the number of the font size to number 24. So what should I do if I want to change the font size more than and greater than number 72? Nothing, just write the number. For example, number 90. And after that, enter. Press the enter key on your keyboard. So you have the number 90 here. From number 1, okay, this is number 1, font size number 1, very small, until number 1638. Hmm? Of course, no one is going to use this font size. But anyway, um, if you want to be sure about the font size, just give a greater number, for example, than number 1638, number 2000, and enter. It gives you a message. The number must be between 1 and 1638. So I read, for example, number 80. No, not 80. Maybe 60 or less. I want it to be in one line. Okay, number 28 would be okay. Okay. So the next part is this one. In this part, you change the case of the sentence. The first one is the sentence case, the same thing that I have it now. The next one is lowercase. If you look at the sentence and when I click on lowercase, all the letters change to lowercase, even the first letter of the first word of the sentence. So after that uppercase, all the letters change to uppercase. After that, capitalize each word. Mm. Usually we use the capitalize each word style for newspapers, for the titles of the newspapers. Okay, we use the capitalize each word. After that, we have toggle case. The first letter is a small, and the rest of the letters in a word are caps or capitals. Mm. I think no one is going to use this style, but anyway, it's a style in Microsoft Word and you can use it. So I prefer to have, for example, sentence case. The next one is clearing all formatting. It means that, for example, you don't have any fonts on this sentence or any, for example, colors or something like that. If I click on it, clear all formatting. So let's choose another font, for example, this one, and change it to number, for example, 26 or 28. No, 26. That's okay. So, let me choose another font, maybe Times New Roman. Let's go to this part. Times New Roman is the most standard English font that we have here. Times New Roman. So, and let me, yeah, I want to Shift and M changes the letter into capital. Microsoft Word, I want to write Word with capital W, Shift and W. So I want to choose the sentence again. So at the beginning of the class, I told you if you want to choose the sentence, you want to select the sentence actually. You have to just click and drag it. Okay. Now, if you double click on the sentence, double or let me say more than one, more than double click, just 3 clicks, okay, or triple clicks on the sentence, you can choose it. So if you click on bold, you can see that the sentence becomes a little bit thicker, okay, but the size doesn't change. Look at the size, number 26. I turn it off, 26. I turn it on, 26. It's still the same size than before, but when I turn it off or on, okay, I have a slight difference between the first part and the second part of enabling and disabling bold. So the next one is italic. If I click on italic, you see that the letters are italic. And the next one is underline. So I can enable all of them together, okay, bold, italic, and underline. Or I can enable, for example, some of them. For example, I don't want them to be italic, so I turn it off, bold, and underline. So, can I control it with my keyboard? Yes. Control and B. It changes the bold case. Okay. Control B on, Control B off. Control and I, italic, Control I off. Control U on, off. So for bold, Control B, for italic, Control I, and for underline, Control U. For underline, there is another option next to underline. If I click this arrow, you see different styles of the lines. For example, double underline, thick underline, I don't know, dots, and the other forms of the, for example, I like this one. It's nice. Even you can change the color of the underline. Underline color, for example, I want to change it into red. I change it to red. Red underline. And, or for example, this one. Now I turn it off and I want to strike through the sentence. For example, sometimes we write a sentence and we want to say that this sentence is not right. Okay. So I say, for example, I write it here. For example, don't say this. Don't say, for example, this are a book. It's wrong. I know it's wrong. We have to say this is a book. So I choose, I select this sentence, and after that I click on strike through this one. So this are a book. is not correct. So don't say these are a book. Just say this is a book. Okay? Maybe you want to do that. And I enter. Now, I want to write, for example, H2O, the formula for water. So I choose I select number 2 here. After that, I click this one, Subscript. It goes a little bit down. Or I want to write the power. For example, I say 210. I select 10, and after that, I click on Superscript. So you have 210. Or if you don't want to select the number, I write, for example, number 10. Before writing the next number, I just click on the superscript and I write number, for example, 5. Space, and I click on superscript again in order to disable it. Then I want to write, for example, H. After that, I just click on the subscript 2. I click on subscript again in order to disable it, and O. Okay? So, subscript and superscript. The next one. For example, I want to change the style of this sentence. I select it and I click on this part. Let me put it like this because, yeah. Now, if you hover your mouse on these things, on these styles, you see the changes on the sentence, okay? Very beautiful styles. Even in this one, you can see a reflection style, okay? So I want to choose this gradient fill and reflection one. When you choose it, you can customize it a little bit more. Outline. You can choose the outline of the, for example, this sentence by using, for example, this color. Oh, let me use, for example, maybe blue. Yeah, maybe this one, dark blue. After that, I can choose the weight of the outline. The weight of the outline. Or I can choose the dashes like this. If you look at the, well, if you look at the text, I change the size. After that, outline, dashes, and here. Now I change the weight. Okay. Now I can see. Yeah. Look, the dashes with a bigger weight. So I select it again. You can use the shadows. Okay. Different shadows. You can use it. Okay. Even with this one, for example, this one is a little bit nicer and better. Yeah. The next one is reflection. We have different kinds of reflections, okay? For example, tight reflection, half reflection, and full reflection, okay? If you look at the sentence, you can see different types of the reflection. For example, I like the half reflection. The glow. The sentence is going to glow. For example, this one. Okay. We have different kinds of glowing with different colors. And if your color is not listed here, you can use more glow colors. And you can use, for example, this one. I want to change it into red glowing. Yeah. Nice. Number styles. I don't talk about number styles here. I will talk about it in the other episodes. And yeah, finish. So outline, shadow, reflection, and glow. These styles are for this sentence. They are enabled. All of them are enabled for this sentence. Of course, you can enable just some of them. It depends on your need. And if you want to highlight a sentence, for example, I want to highlight the sentence "don't say." Just choose this one and select one of them. For example, this one. This is the highlight of your sentence. The next one is changing the color of the text. For example, Microsoft Word. You can see Microsoft Word here. And after that, I click it and I can change the color. For example, red and bold. This is a test for Microsoft Word class. So the next part, all of these font elements are finished. Now we go to some of these paragraphs elements now. And after that, the other elements are going to be explained next session and next episode. So let's change the size to number, for example, 18. This sentence is left aligned. It means it's on the left side of the screen or paper. So why? Because this left align is enabled. Now I want to align it in the center. I just click on center alignment. It's exactly in the center of the horizontal part of the paper or screen. Here we have the align right for some right to left languages. Okay. And this is the justify. Of course, justify is for paragraphs. Okay. So I click on align left or center. Yeah. I like it to be in the center of the screen. And what are the shortcut keys for these alignments? Control and L is the left alignment. Control and E is for center. And Control and R is for the right alignment. So I want it to be in the center of the screen, Control and E. I use it in this part. So this session is finished, and I want to say thank you for choosing this lesson. And it would be nice if you write your comments and like this video and subscribe my channel. In the next episodes, we're going to be a very professional person in using the Word software for editing and using it for writing different kinds of letters and I don't know, other paragraphs. So like, share, subscribe, and say goodbye. See you next episode. Bye bye.